I'm Michelle with Michelle Loves Books. Today I'm putting together my TBR for July. I know it's already the 10th. I actually have already finished one book for the month, and I've started another one, which is going to be for one of my challenges. I will be participating in 3 readathons. They're all back to back. I'm very, very excited for this month of reading and this next couple of weeks. So I just took my husband to the airport this morning for his 2-week hitch. In the oil field, they call him a hitch. So I just took him for his 2-week hitch where he works in Texas. So he'll be gone for 2 weeks. Tomorrow, the biannual bibliothon starts. And the next day on the 12th, my kids leave to go on a cruise. So I'm going to be all by myself, and I'm really excited to get a ton of reading done. So the first reading challenge starts tomorrow, which also happens to be my birthday. So I can't think of a better way to spend my birthday with the start of my favorite readathon, which is the biannual bibliothon. Unfortunately, this will be the very last biannual bibliothon they will ever do, so I'm very sad, but I can't think of a better way to go out with a bang than to have all this time just to myself to really focus on it and have a lot of fun and participate in all the Twitter sprints and the Instagram challenges and the video challenges, which I'm a little bit behind on. Anyways, for the reading challenges for this event, also the biannual bibliothon runs from tomorrow, the 11th, until the 19th. That's also the day that my kids get home. That's 9 days when they usually do it for 7 days, so it's 9 different reading challenges. So let's get into the reading challenges for the first readathon. That will be, the first reading challenge is to read an adult book. I have actually picked 2 books for this just to kind of give myself a little bit more flexibility. This year I have been really terrible about sticking to my TBR for readathons because I'm like a really big mood reader. So I'm giving myself a little bit of flexibility here. So the 2 books I picked are The Curiosities by Susan Gloss. This was an ARC that was sent to me a while ago, and I just haven't picked it up yet. I'm actually really excited for this. I'm actually using the cover of this book for a future video challenge for this week, later in this week. This is supposed to be about a woman who's an art history major. I guess some life events take her to this artist colony or something like that, where she ends up running into a bunch of eccentric personalities. So I'm really excited about this book. It actually brings me back to a time when I used to live with my grandmother in Dallas. We used to do a lot of art stuff. My grandmother is an artist, so we did all kinds of stuff with local artists. One of the events we did in Dallas was the Artist Studio Walk, and one of the places, basically the participating artists submit their address wherever their studio is. Most of the time it's in their own homes, which was absolutely wonderful to see. They have gorgeous homes, really interesting studios. It was just really cool to see where their art comes alive and comes together. But one of the places we went to was this like building downtown. They had a bunch of different studios inside the building. Just the setting reminds me of that place. So I'm really excited to pick this book up. The next one I kind of threw in there just in case I decide I'm not liking the book so much or I'm in a different weird mood is Naked by David Sedaris. I have about 3 of his books and I haven't read any of them yet, but I heard his writing is quite interesting, so I've been wanting to read something by him. Challenge number 2 is to read a graphic novel. I went ahead and picked up Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've been really in a Buffy mood. I haven't watched the series in a while. I usually like to rewatch the series when I just kind of like want to chill and watch something. I'll usually put on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have seasons 8 and 9, so I've read like the first 3 before, but I'm going to go ahead and start them over again. I want to complete all of the series so that I can catch up on it. I'll also read into some of the other spin-offs that go along with the series as well. I also have checked out on Hoopla because I really like their platform for reading graphic novels on Hoopla. They have such a wide variety of graphic novels. So I do have Monstrous checked out. The third challenge is actually, it was written in the list of reading challenges, but it wasn't discussed in the announcement video. But I do have a book picked out for it, so we're gonna go with it. So basically it's to pick a book based on its cover. I wasn't 100% sure what this meant, except like For example, like this doesn't really tell you what the book is about. It's just like some clouds or something. Whereas this, you can tell it's about the Scooby Gang and they're like some warriors or something like that. Like this cover tells you a lot about the book. I'm actually going to use an audiobook I already started called Catwoman by Sarah J. Maas for this challenge. And I always like to have an audiobook for readathons just because like I want to keep reading even though I have other things to do. So it's always a good idea to have an audiobook. That's the one I'm picking for this challenge. The fourth challenge, I have to say thank you so much to the host for throwing this one in there. It's the free choice challenge, basically to pick a book of your choice. For this one, I have Illuminae that I've already started, and I also have A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I've already started as well. So I wanted to keep reading those. So I'm really thankful to have just an open choice to put those books that I'm already reading in this readathon. The fifth challenge is to read a book from an author that you've never read before. This one I will be using as a double up because I've never read anything by Sarah J. Maas, and actually I have two of her books in this readathon as well as Amy Kaufman. However, I just realized as I was filming that I have read an Amy Kaufman book before. I read the first book in the Starbound series just a couple days ago. And another thing that's really funny about that is the group book is also written by Amy Kaufman. So this is like full immersion into her writing this month, which is really exciting. Challenge number 6 is to read a book that you are really excited for but haven't picked up yet. And since I'm on a huge Buffy kick and I still have yet to pick this one up after mentioning it in TBRs for the last couple readathons, is Slayer. So I'm going to put this again on my TBR and hope that I get around to it during the biannual bibliothon. If you are unaware, this says from the world of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I guess this kind of takes you into the future of the world. Oh, she's supposed to be the last Slayer ever. So I guess that means like if she dies, like another Slayer will not be called. So I'm really excited about this. Challenge number 7 is to read a predicted 5-star. Honestly, this is going to be another double up for me because I can assume most of the books on here are going to be 5-star reads for me. Challenge number 8 is to read a host 5-star read. For this, I'm choosing Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This book is Emma Book's 5-star pick. This one I have been really excited to read since I picked it up last year and I just never got around to it. So it's about time to get around to it. And then the final challenge is to read the group book, which is Aurora Rising, which I don't have, and I tried to request it through Overdrive, but they don't have them available. They're checked out or something. They even have an audiobook and the ebook available, but they're both checked out. So I have it on hold. I've had it on hold for like a month now. Hopefully I can get it. If not, I do plan on going book shopping. I want to check out, I still haven't found a really good bookstore here in Florida since we moved here. There's a place close to Orlando that I want to check out. It's supposed to be like a buy, sell, trade store. However, Aurora Rising is a new release, so I don't think that I'll be able to find it for a discounted price. But they should probably still have it, so maybe I'll pick it up while I'm out. So after the biannual bibliothon, just as it ends, the very next day starts the 24 and 48 reading challenge. I participated in this the last round, and I had such a blast with it. So I'm really excited to participate in this again. By that time, my kids will come home. I think they come home on the last day of the biannual bibliothon. So they will be home, but they will have just gotten off of a cruise. So they're going to need a couple of days to kind of relax and get back into the swing of being home. They're going to want to play their video games, stuff like that. So that works for me. Basically, the 24 and 48 is to read for 24 hours within a 48-hour period. There's never usually any reading challenges. So I'm just going to use that time to catch up on any books that I didn't finish through the biannual bibliothon. Although I have basically a week with no interruptions, no kids, no husband, and my house is clean and I don't really make a mess. That's all on the kids and everybody else in the house. So I don't have a whole lot to do except for read. So I think I'll make a lot of progress, but it's still quite ambitious and I do have a lot of filming and editing to do. I'm really behind on the video challenges for the biannual bibliothon. I will be trying to get those videos in. 24 and 48 is for Saturday and Sunday, which is the 20th and 21st. And then that Monday starts the reading rush. And I guess last year it was called the BookTubeathon. I'm not sure. Either way, same host, Ariel Bissett, and I'm really sorry I forgot the second host's name. I will link the announcement videos below in the description box if you want to check it out. I'm just familiar with Ariel Bissett. I've been following her for a while before I started my channel. But anyways, she's one of the hosts of the Reading Rush, and they have 7 challenges. The first challenge is to read a book with purple on the cover. For this one, I picked The School for Good and Evil. This is the first book in the extensive series. I'm not sure how many books are in the series. I think there's at least 5. I'm not sure. This is just such a cute cover, and I'm really excited to get to this book. I've had it on my shelf for a little while. There's definitely purple on the cover. However, if for some reason I don't get to all of the books in the Biannual Bibliothon, Slayer will also work for this. There's a lot of purple in this cover. Challenge number 2 is to read the same book in the same spot the entire time. So you are able to get up and move in between the book. I'm gonna pick a graphic novel for this book. However, this probably won't be a challenge for me anyways. I mostly like to read in bed, but I am, just to make it easy, I'm gonna pick one of my graphic novels, one of my Buffy graphic novels for this challenge. Challenge number 3 is to read a book that you meant to read last year. This one's kind of weird, and I'm using this as like a flexible one because obviously there's a lot of books I wanted to read last year that I haven't gotten to, but I am reading A Court of Thorns and Roses right now, and if I finish that during the Biannual Bibliothon, then I will be picking up book 2, which is A Court of Mist and Fury. That one is a chunker. Actually, let me go ahead and grab it. Court of Thorns and Roses, if I finish it, then I will move on to book 2, which is, wait, this is book number 3? Right, so if I finish A Court of Thorns and Roses, then I will be moving on to A Court of Mist and Fury, which is book 2 in the series. But this is a chunker. I mean, this one's going to take a little bit of time as well at, over 400 pages, and this one has over 600 pages, so it's quite ambitious. Challenge number 4 is to read an author's first book. I really wanted to pick up Gillian Flynn's first book, which is Sharp Objects. I've been dying to read that book, but I don't have it. I'm going to read City of Bones. I believe this was her debut novel, which I have most of the series. I've read this one before. I've read City of Ashes, City of Glass, and I've read His Infernal Devices, but I listened to those on audiobook, and I really want to reread them with the physical books. This is kind of a long project because, there's 3, 12? There's, I think, 13 books now in the entire Shadowhunters universe, and I really want to read all of them and just be completely immersed in this world. I believe this was her debut novel. If it's not, please let me know. I did look it up on Goodreads, and it looks like this was the first listed on Goodreads in 2007? Yeah, 2007. Challenge number 5 is to read a book with a non-human main character. Honestly, I could double up on this challenge because Court of Thorns and Roses, you have fairies, City of Bones, you have Shadowhunters, but since I feel like we need to pick separate books, I'm going to go with Spike. This is a spin-off, and Spike is a vampire in the Buffy universe. Challenge number 6 is to read a book with 5 or more words in the title. For this one, again, I'm going to pick one of the A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, or A Court of Wings and Ruin. Also has more than 5 words in the title. I was trying to find a different book to add for this challenge, but there's nothing really I can think of. Buffy the Vampire Slayer comes close at 4 words, and it definitely exceeds 5 words if the third graphic novel is Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Wolves at the Gate. That would work for this challenge as well. The final reading challenge is to read a book and watch the movie adaptation. They did this challenge last time too, and I really loved this because it's really fun to mix it up and take a break and watch a movie and just chill out. So it's also really relaxing. I plan on reading 5 Feet Apart. I actually already had this checked out on Overdrive. I wasn't going to read this book at all. It sounds like it will probably end up breaking my heart at the end, which I don't like to read books that I know are gonna make me just like ugly cry. And I feel like that's gonna happen with this book. But I've heard phenomenal things about it. Everyone is just raving that this book is fantastic, so I'm sure I'm really gonna love it. So I'm gonna give it a try. We're gonna listen to the audiobook and then go check out the movie. And that completes my TBR. So that was a lot of talking. So I'm just gonna grab all the books that I've planned and see how many we got here. Holy cow, that is a lot of books. This is very, very ambitious. So here we go. We've got The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chinani, Scythe by Neil Shusterman, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, Naked by David Sedaris, Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Sorry, my kids are upstairs. They can't figure out how to not yell. The Curiosities by Susan Gloss, Slayer by Kristen White, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Did I say Moist and Fury? I think I did. And then I have 4 graphic novels, the first 3 Buffy season 8, and finally Spike, A Dark Place. And I think there's only 2 of these, but I only have number 1. So those are all the books I plan to read in the next 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that. That's a lot. All right, so that wraps up this video. I better get to work editing some videos so that I can start my day off reading tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Good luck on your readathon if you are going to participate. Let me know which readathons you're going to participate in this month. And if you have uploaded TBR, I would love to see it, so let me know. See you later.